You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on InterFed Radio. Welcome to Around the United Nations League. With me in studio, Commissioner Scott Anderson. Commissioner, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here once again.
Commissioner, part of our UNL, because, like I said, there's a lot to cover. And as I was mentioning to the commissioner, the UNL, it's kind of like that black hole that they just got a picture of. It just sucks you in, man. This thing is just, oh man,
awesome. A lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to, mention briefly that I am recovering, from some unfortunate mishap. Like I said, I won't even get too much into the details, but yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. But I am recovering. You watch out there, Mr. Yeah.
Mysterious.
Yeah, that guy. He's gonna get. I won't say him again. Yeah, but our commissioner report must go on in pain and agony that I am, and I will read out these names. Might have to leave someone out, but if you get left out, you know why. But let's see here. First of all, a league champion, United Nations League number 30. Little Nations. Oh.
Yes.
TV champion, Mr. Armbreaker himself, Valinaria. Still throwing up the Noble House, huh?
Still throwing up the Noble House. We'll talk about it later. He mentions it in his trash talk.
Uh-huh.
Talking about Noble House.
Brazilian champ, the Flying Dragon, Felipe Rizzo. Aha, back on the stage. Dude, I'm telling you, it seems like every other, got him back on there. He likes that Brazil title. China champion, Double Dutch 2000s, Antoine Martin, Indian champion, and Spivey. Iran champion, flexing Vladimir Verkemp, throwing up the edge. My goodness. Nice. Our Japan champion, AI's Akbar. If you had anything to do with that, Mexico champion, the Orders, the Italian Nightmare, Anthony Izzo. Nigeria champion, Archie the Bushmaster Jones.
That's Bushmaster without the C.
Aha. Yeah. I think I'm a bigger fan of this Bushmaster. Russian champion, Goodie Bag, Griff. Now this is from Sexual Chocolate, or what was their?
Whoa, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. No, from Sugar High.
Sugar High. That's what it was, not Sexual.
I don't know how you get from Sugar High to that. But.
Hey. United States champion, IA Sin.
I believe that's an L.
Aha. Nope. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that damn PDF. Had to zoom in extra careful. Yeah. LA Sin. And here we go.
Speaking of zooming in, if I may interrupt, which I shouldn't do as you read off champions. On 2 occasions, I have implanted in my report with seriously one size font, a special message in my report for certain individuals. I guess I might as well share. The first one was when Rick Rancher won the league or won the Wrestler of the Year, and I put in one font really, really tiny, like you had to zoom it into 500% just to be able to read it. Very small. It said also the winner of the POS award.
Nice.
And then the second time goes out to my bestest buddies, Jake and Tom. But This was for Jake, and it was underneath our IWA Global show, and it said, "Please, Jake, let's do another."
Nice.
Because we were supposed to make a series of that, and it didn't happen. So, Jake, this is your official on-air call out. I want to do more IWA Global with my friend. So,
get the coverage going. Like I said, we
going.
We want more coverage of the logos out there in the IWA.
Well, we have an idea for our second show.
Nice.
I mean, so yeah, so just waiting on you, Mr. Joyce. I need that laugh in my life. I need that laugh track. So anyway, okay, sorry. Back to our champions.
Oh, and back to a $20 UNL credit winner. Speaking of Sugar High, Goodie Bag Griff, Elizabeth, Christian Grokuya. Okay.
So close.
So close. But yet so far away. Sugar High. TV Tag Team Champ, Quick Hill Inc., the Quebec Hitman, and Naul. 6-man champions, winners of 5 free matches, Quick Hill Inc. doing it. Hey, they put the challenge out there, and a lot of takers, but they're still there.
Still here.
Close second, TV 6-man champion, Ezekiel Crane. That's all I'm going to say. I can say no.
You're all Ezekiel Crane?
They're all Ezekiel Crane, but yeah, Solomon Yang and Gian Greco doing all the work. Shout out to the NRA. Now this is the commissioner's sign, so I'm going to keep I've already got myself beat up once for spilling the beans on the commissioner report. Like, we're gonna scroll down and
something I forgot to mention on the L&L show that I'll mention here. So anybody who might be cross-listening, please just pretend that I mentioned this. In both the L&L and the UNL this cycle, you can take 2-for-1 matches. Nice. Now, what that means for the UNL, however, is Cycle 31 is a bonus scrubs match cycle. So, if you were to do a match deal, you get 40 scrub matches instead of 20. Just make sure you tell the IWA. You can have 2-for-1 entry in the Battle Royal. That's every cycle. If you do a match deal, you get 2-for-1 battle entry in the Battle Royal. But then also, if you do a match deal in the UNL this cycle, you get 4 additional matches because of the 2 for $1. So you can take 24 matches with 40 scrub wins, and just to throw the cherry on top, you can take 2-for-1 in the Battle Royal.
I'm telling you, it's that UNL black hole. It gets you. But you know what? Perks like that, I think, make the league that much more appealing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of a commissioner that has the patience and works the deal. the what is it? The art of the deal. It's like, don't say that. Don't compare me to that.
Man, I don't want to get political on here, but please don't compare me to the author of the art of the deal.
No, definitely no comparison to that. But yeah, no, it was a great deal workmanship, brother. Because
thank you, sir.
I said they've cut back. They're not giving those out as much now. Like I said,
I have noticed that the IWA has. I think that, and on one hand, I get it. The IWA seems like they have gotten, like they've given as many rewards as they want to give.
Yes.
Like for a while there, it was like everything you were asking for was going out. But now that a lot of leagues have asked and gotten stuff, now it's like, okay, now we gotta rein it in a bit.
Oh yeah, no, and
I'm glad I got mine while the getting was good.
Yes, I mean, like
That's
I said,
Midwest for you.
Those
got mine while the getting was good. Mm-hmm.
And got it good you did. Like I said,
Got it good, I did.
Oh yeah. Now, Commissioner, like I said, a lot of fun here in the UNL,
Yeah.
and are we going to go into our global tournament and what we had discussed
Sure.
earlier, or is there things before
We
that you
definitely
want to?
can. Well, the only one thing I would mention, you already mentioned, congratulations to Sugar High for winning the $20 in UNL credit. It's awesome. Always nice. I think I've mentioned it before, but it's I'm really happy that we have been able to keep above 50 cards in our non-bonus cycle. That's
Yes.
awesome because what that does is it gets the tag team champions UNL credit every cycle then. So thank you again for that. That's awesome. I want to give as much credit as we can give. So getting over 50 cards is great for everybody, particularly the tag team champions. So I also wanted to mention, even though it feels a little bit, self gratifying, Naul had a 500 strategy
Nice.
for his league title. Now, unfortunately, that didn't win him squat other than league title, which is still pretty awesome. Not saying it's not. It is. League title, 10 free matches, but I guess I mean like his 500 strategy didn't take anything at the at large scale, but that's okay. Speaking of, if we want to go over global tournaments now,
Yeah, we can.
is that what you
I,
is
I
that
would
what you'd
say
like to do next?
I would say let's do that before we go into the champions. I think we can kind
Fair.
of cover two birds with one stone in the transition in the transition.
Fair enough. So I had reported, and I posted on underneath my typical results post that there will be some updates discussed on the show, and I will make an update on the page. I thought we had 20 active managers. We didn't. We had 18 active managers. 18 still tremendous. Don't get me wrong. 20 would have granted us more wrestlers in the next global tournament. So unfortunately, 18 is going to keep us at 16 participants, which is, again, still pretty good.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't have 20 active managers. We had 18. And then a few managers that I didn't realize when I made my initial post were inactive. So there will be a few changes from what I initially posted as to who is moving on in some of these global tournaments. So look for that. I'll update the post on the Facebook in the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the UNL Facebook group, I highly encourage you to join us. I think it's a fun. I try not to have too much, but we try and do enough. I think it's a fun page to be on. Please make sure you answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you're not getting on. So look for that update. There will be a few changes there to the global tournaments. Our global tournament 25 winner was Naul,
Nice.
winning his first global tournament. Yeah. And our 26 finals, which will take place this cycle, is Bill the Butcher Cutting and the Canadian Crippler, Antoine Martin. So
Oof.
that, I think, is a powerhouse match. Like that's, to quote the early 90s WWF, like that's a main event anywhere in the country. Like Bill Cutting and Antoine Martin is a good finals matchup. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, and I mean both of those fighters, they came in and I think both of them have kept their kept to their word that they were going to be, on the title page, be relevant. They're going to, and yeah, both of them have continued to impress.
For sure. Definitely. Yeah. And I said, when he came back at the beginning of the year, the manager for Rousseau and Martin, he's the real deal. So, don't sell him short.
Now, our global tournaments, you said what might be taking a change in terms of how they're
Oh, yeah. I'm
determined.
glad. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So, to full disclosure, as much as possible, uh, essentially what happened this cycle is a few managers that were inactive got listed as active because they were included in global tournament matches. Um, as you probably know, if you're a part of the league, I have been running these matches in the bulletins uh, from the beginning, basically, except for parts of global tournament number one. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, these matches have run in the bulletins. Uh, this is not the first time that this has occurred, where an inactive manager is listed as active, and that kind of throws off our numbers, and it can throw off who advances in a global tournament. And the reason that that happens is because I don't realize that they're inactive because they're listed as active because they had matches that I requested. So it's this circular thing that occurs, and it kind of throws us off, basically. And in a league where the number of participants in global tournaments is dependent upon the number of active managers, who advances in the global tournaments is dependent upon the results of the match. It has become, or what I see as a preventable issue, to have this concern, and that I might miss something. Now, thankfully, I have managers that are forthright and forthcoming, and said yes. I was inactive. I didn't send in matches. So anyway, long story short, what I'm going to stop doing is sending in the global tournament matches to play in the bulletin. We are definitely going to still do global tournaments. Nothing else will change. I will be doing by strategy total first. If it's a draw or if they have the same strategy total, then I will continue to go by the best finish in the battle royal. But I am going to stop running these matches in the bulletins for those reasons I mentioned. I hope everybody's okay with that. If you have any complaints, you're welcome to message me and voice that. But I definitely think that in a league like ours, where things are dependent upon the number of active people and who advances is dependent upon the results of the match, it seems only fair to not allow inactive people to advance by mistake. And this is how I view preventing that mistake.
I mean, it's a how could you say it? It's like you said, it's something that could easily be fixed.
Right.
And it's still, like I said, it's not going to take from the tournaments. The tournaments are still going to continue to run.
Right.
And I think it'll just make it even more challenging, like I said.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I would add to that is, say, like, you won't see the result of Bill Cutting versus Antoine Martin, but if they happen to have a match, then the match is in the bulletin, right? I'm not going to send in the match. So right. If Bill Cutting challenges Antoine Martin for a regional title, then you will see that match in the bulletin. But I guess that's the idea.
Yeah, no, I think it'll still carry over well, and at the same time make it like you say, just even the bar, even the playing field. Yeah. Make it reward the people that are contributing in a sense, because that's
right.
Like I said, that's what we want in overall.
Correct. And I do want to mention a second time, if I have a tiebreaker in almost everything, but particularly in these global tournaments, I will then go to the best battle royal finish. I know some other places do point flow. That's their biz. That's cool. I understand that. I don't do point flow primarily because I want managers for two reasons. I don't want to punish managers for a flow that's not as good when you might not be doing that for that purpose. but I also want to reward managers who enter the battle royal. And third, and what's really important to me, is that managers can see the result themselves, right? Like I could say, oh, Naul had a better flow than Akbar, so he won. And not that anybody would ever lie, but you can see it for yourself. It's in the bulletin. Like Naul finished 5th, Akbar finished 8th. Like you can see it in the bulletin. There's nothing that you have to check on or I have to share. It's autonomous in that way.
Yes, you know what? We had discussed that earlier, and when you mentioned it, I was like, you know what? That does make sense. Like you said, it's everything that a manager can find in a bulletin is going to determine the match.
Right.
No, that's awesome. Now, that being said,
yes, sir.
Moving into these champions.
Let's do it.
These commissioner championships. I mean, and this is one of the things, I guess that you can say that builds that respect in a commissioner, that builds that respect in the rules and the authority that, revolves the league. I've mentioned the structure of the league and, taking the structure and making sure that everything is played evenly. I think when full, what do they call it? Full disclosure. I was one of those managers that came out and said, "Hey, you know what? I had no idea I had won the commissioner title, but through another manager, he said, "Yeah, your guy won." It's like, how could I have won if I was inactive? My computer took a dump, and I haven't been on. And then he's like, "Yeah, go check the post." I finally got around to go checking the post, and I was like, So I was like, yeah, I gotta say something, because if this is a league based around, the activity, then, these belts have to make sure they're around someone that's active. And, even though the associates want to, claim that they bought out Rick Rancher again and made him take a dive, it just, just a back alley deal went wrong there. So,
yeah. So first, I appreciate Flip's honesty in letting me know, because I wouldn't have known otherwise, which is one reason why I think it's important to fix the global tournament, because I don't want to make mistakes. But again, appreciating his honesty, it was announced that Benjamin Felix retained the television title against Rick Rancher, but since Benjamin Felix was inactive, Rick Rancher becomes the new champion. So Rick Rancher is the commissioner television champion, and he will defend. He will defend the title against Vladimir Verklempt this upcoming cycle.
Yeah. So none of this Ezekiel Crane funny business trying to steal titles.
Benjamin Felix, although an associate, has to be somewhat honest.
Oh yeah. Just a back alley deal gone wrong.
Back alley deal gone wrong, yeah. So Rick Rancher regains the television title. So apparently Rick didn't take the money this time.
No. Not this time. You see him up there pulling his beard. He wanted both titles. I want them all.
I want them now. That's pretty funny. So that spoken of now, we do have a few new champions, actually quite a few new champions. I will talk about the champion who retained first, and that is the Poison member, CC DeVille, continued his reign as Can-Am champion. It's getting pretty lengthy. It's impressive. His title reign, that is. So his next challenger is Ezekiel Crane. So I will be excited to see what goes on there.
Yeah. I was always told if you have nothing nice to say, not to say anything. So.
Well, there was a journalist that was attacked by Poison. So I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, I'll say no. Not. I'm gonna go ahead and let this one just we're gonna let it develop because watch out there. Watch out there.
Fair. So, as you may be able to deduce, the new international champion is Jacob Vandenberg,
Nice.
regaining the international title, the first two-time international champion, defeating Tonga Ming. His challenger will be his former friend and tag team partner, Vladimir Verklempt.
Nice.
So that is a series I'm definitely looking forward to. For those of you who might not know, Jacob and Vladimir were pretty attached at the hip. They were pretty tight for a while, and then they had a bit of a falling out. But they didn't really have a feud or anything. They just kind of had a falling out and drifted apart. So now they're kind of forced to resurface this. So I will be actively watching what's going on with that.
Now remind me, can you hold the television and the international?
You can hold the television and the international, yes.
Okay, perfect. Cause I see Vladimir's up for both. So
correct.
Nice.
Okay, so I do have another important change from the initial post, in that what was announced as the new World Tag Team Champions, Tonga Ming and Walter McGinn, will not be the case since Tonga Ming was inactive. So I will, you know what? I don't think I went to check and see if another qualifying team beat the current champions. So
TBA.
Well, I can use my search skills. You may be hearing me type.
The power of the internet, live, raw and uncensored, around the United Nations League. Got all
raw uncut.
We got all our what is it? I forget what those people are called behind the scenes. The producers giving us the insight right now.
They're working on it. Okay, so Thomas. Oh, never mind. Okay. We only had okay, so Solomon Ying and Jan Greycrow are still the World Tag Team Champions.
I'm telling you, Ezekiel Crane finds a way to work these back alley deals. Lost one and gained another. Gained two. So he traded 2 for 1.
He did. He's like, I'll give up the television title, but I need to keep the world tag.
Dang.
So they are still the tag team champions. However, the Quebec Hitman RMP and Naul beat the champions in a non-title match.
Ooh,
so
nice.
They may challenge the champions next cycle for the world tag titles.
Oh, those quick killing.
Coming back. They want the belt back.
Oh, were they former champs?
They were the former champs, and Solomon and Ying beat them for the titles.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll be coming back. Coming back for the gold.
Nice.
So, world tag titles. We do have the big one, the one at the top, the United Nations champion. Valinaria managed to defeat Rick Rancher to become the new United Nations champion. So, Mr. 24/7, maybe he'll finally smile a little. I doubt it. But Valinaria, the new United Nations champion. His first challenger. Go ahead.
You know what? This is almost like as if you had this like written in a script or something. Like right after he finishes his regional run, just manages to bring home the United Nations title. Huh? I love it.
Yeah, it's like the end of Rocky 2.
Are we back to Rockies?
I mean,
we're back to Rockies. Was Rocky 2?
Part 5 is terrible.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I was like, how did we get back to the Rocky? I thought, okay, just making sure that was one of the good ones. I was like, all right. Yeah. Okay, that's one of the good ones.
2 is pretty good.
Okay, nice.
But Valinaria's first opponent, oddly enough, it's funny how these things work out sometime, is the cover person from this cycle, Akbar. And let me tell you, he has been on a tear. So he is definitely a deserving number one contender. So looking forward to Valinaria versus Akbar.
Huh. Something about that goatee.
Something about it.
Like, just moving on.
We will soon find out if he is indeed the most evil man in the UNL.
I think he had something to do with the attack on that, innocent reporter.
I think he might have too.
Yeah, because that look. Watch out there, Mr. Akbar.
So I do have just a couple more things on our commissioner side. Certainly, if my esteemed co-host has something to add, I welcome that. I do want to talk about the World Tag Shuffle.
Is it time for the tag shuffle already, or are we down to the last two?
Well, we're down to the final 5.
Nice.
So, Bill Cotting and Benjamin Felix defeated Ezekiel Crane and Jake Sabot, and Walter McGinn and Thomas Escobar defeated Solomon Ying and Jan Greycrow. So that leaves us with 5. So Bill Cutting earned a bye. So next cycle, Benjamin Felix will team with Ezekiel Crane to face off with Walter McGinn and Thomas Escobar. So the associates will have to face each other. But any wrestlers remaining after that match will be allowed to pick a partner for a one-cycle finale.
Nice.
Now, obviously, you still have to remain like international, and national. So Bill Cutting has already punched his ticket to the finale. But if Felix and Crane win, then they can pick partners to help them or to hopefully achieve victory. So after this cycle, we will be down to either 3 or 4. Could it be 4? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think it's going to be down to. Wait. Sorry. I'll figure it out, I promise. It'll be down to 3 or 4 wrestlers. And so if whoever is remaining after that match this cycle will be allowed to pick a partner, and we'll have a one-cycle finale then.
But Cutting is in.
Cutting is in for sure. He gets a bye this round. So Bill Cutting can go ahead and pick his national partner that he thinks will help him achieve victory. Yes. And what could happen too is he could pick somebody that's still in, right? If he's like, nice. Hey, I think I have my best chances with Ezekiel Crane, so I want to team with him. Certainly I wouldn't want to fight 2-on-1, but if he thinks that Ezekiel Crane is his best chance to win, they can team up with each other too.
Well, I mean, you signed Ezekiel Crane, but you get so many options to pick from who's going to show up and to help you out.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm trying to see if we missed anything on this one.
I only have one more thing. So hopefully everybody first, I guess, is okay with that. What originally was my plan is that I thought the eliminations would occur in such a way in the World Tag Shuffle, which, if we're calling a spade, and you hopefully appreciate a commissioner who's honest, the World Tag Shuffle was not as crisp and clean and smooth as I wanted. I will probably not run the event that way again. But within that scope, the initial idea was to have a 2-team finale, and then the winning team would each get to pick a partner. So now instead of doing that, we're going to go with who's ever left next cycle picking a partner, and then that winning team can challenge for the World Tag titles. So if Bill Cutting and his partner win, they can challenge for the World Tag titles. And Bill Cutting wins the cash prize. So
if he wins with his partner, or he's already in it.
Right. If he wins with his correct, whoever wins. I don't mean to assume that he will win. Yes, whoever wins will earn the credit prize.
Nice. Even though Bill Cutting's, in that nice
in the driver's seat a bit.
He's definitely in the driver's seat, man. Oh man.
But it's anybody's, and it'll be anybody's game there at the finale for sure.
Nice. So
lots of good competitors.
Now, you forgot to mention Jamie Lee Curtis in that corner right there.
Oh. I wasn't going to mention anything about that particular actress.
Watch your back, CC Phil. That's all I'm saying. We're going to end this show on a bang. Go listen to the Trash Talk one because, oh my God, you're going down, sucker. Oh, man, how dare you beat up reporters? Bad enough you got a bad haircut, and beating up reporters just not going to happen, man. Not going to happen. Oh.